So you're telling me he's called Buzz, and they gave him wings, but he doesn't buzz and he can't fly?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous! What happened to fair representation in the media?
Exactly. I'm sick of these... Oh my god.
What?
Don't move.
What is it?
Do you see that bee?
I think that's a hornet. Be careful.
This is no time for puns.
What?
Actually, you know what? That's a pretty good-looking bee.
What are you talking about?
I just want to get a little closer.
Don't.
Come on, I'm only human, man.
No, you're not.
Listen, the last time I made love was almost a lifetime ago.
That was this morning.
Exactly. What's the worst that could happen? Come on, I just want to introduce myself. Hey, honey, is your name a bee drill? Because I'm a bee drilling you later.
Oh, that's gross. James, you ready to drive first?
Yeah, coming. What's our intro for this?
I don't know, but that bee sure is sexy.
You're watching Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James!
And this is the Dodge Hornet.
Maybe a Honda is too practical for you, a Toyota too reliable, and a Mazda simply too luxurious. If that's the case, then perhaps your $30,000 stack of American Benjamins is better off in the hands of Dodge, and their new performance-oriented crossover, the Hornet, built alongside its sister car, the Alfa Romeo Tonale, in Italy. Thanks to the wonderful team at Peel Chrysler, we have one today in GT form, and it has fancy things like torque vectoring and Brembo brakes, and our tester today even has the track pack, so among other things it gets dual stage valve suspension and bigger wheels. For the price, packed with the amount of tech and performance goodies that it has, it should be a huge win. But we've been hurt before. Let's have at it. And if you're new to Throttle House, we do car reviews, track tests, and quite a lot of messing about. So subscribe, hit the bell. Hornet GT. To 60 in 6.5 seconds, all-wheel drive is standard, and a 2-litre 4-cylinder Hurricane 4-cylinder, the new name for their engine family, that puts out 268 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. This is the baby! That's significant, that's almost WRX power, that's more torque than a GR Corolla. It does feel front-wheel drive biased, I'll say that. When I put my foot down, there's some unwanted torque steer, especially on the first to second shift. But it feels peppy. In fact, I've only got good things to say about the engine. It pulls, thanks to the 9-speed transmission, it always stays in the torque band. I just can't engage with it. There's no way to engage with it. There's no paddle shifters. The Alfa Romeo Tonale gets paddle shifters. Why don't we have that? The answer is we do get shift paddles in the Hornet, but they're reserved for the more powerful electrified trim. The same is true for the Alfa. All I have is this shifter down here, and I'm not going to use that. Fortunately, it stays out your way, but I'm just not used to the pairing of a sport button on a steering wheel and then no way to engage with the transmission on the wheel itself. But consider for a moment, this is the baby. This is the Hornet GT. There's a Hornet RT coming, which has electric assistance going on, so it has more horsepower, way more torque, and it even has a power shot feature, which sounds like something I normally scroll to get to the end of an adult video, but in fact, it just increases the horsepower for a brief amount of time, which gives it a more aggressive 0 to 60 time. And then they're rumoring this go like hell version, which is just a concept at the moment. But as is, in this form, it's quick, it's engaging. So, hot hatch power numbers, and quite frankly, hot hatch pricing, does it handle like one?
All right, since this has that Italian blood, that is, it is built in Italy beside the Alfa Romeo Tonale, it has the Alfa Romeo steering, which means the ratio is quick. And the steering is actually quite sharp. It makes the whole car much more engaging. And this is the track package, which means that it gets adjustable suspension. When I click the sport mode here, tightens up the steering, shortens the throttle, and stiffens the dampers. But honestly, even in sport mode, I don't find the ride to be that bad. It's well controlled. There's no, egregious side-to-side stiffening. The sway bars aren't horrible and uncomfortable. It's just well damped. And it's actually quite quiet and comfortable. But since it is a rather small vehicle overall, it kind of drives like a raised hot hatch more than it drives like a smaller crossover. Does that make any sense? This does have a lot of competitors like the Mazda CX-5, but Mazda these days, I find, is taking themselves maybe a little bit too seriously. They're trying to be all classy and it's very nice, it's debonair. This is not that. This is playful and kind of silly. It's fun. It feels more fun. You can tell that that was what was on their mind when they made it. But I will say though, from an ownership perspective, owning a Mazda, it's probably going to last for a little while. This is a Dodge that's based on an Alfa Romeo, which is based on a Jeep. This does have an all-wheel drive system, and it has a limited slip differential. Not that it's making me able to kick the tail out or anything like that, but it's nice to know when the surface is loose or slippery or snowy or icy that it can do that. But for the time being, for the price, I think this is a great little driving car.
It's not so bad,
No, not bad at all. Reasonable, which is refreshing. Like, when was the last time we drove a car and the asking price kind of just made sense?
Yeah, it does exactly what it says on the box, right? It's like a little fun, little sporty crossover. It's got a cool name and a sexy bee on the side.
It's also quite smart looking. Like the Alfa Romeo toenail is there. If you want the
The
Alfa,
toenail,
if you
yes.
want the, yeah, well they call it that.
Well, I think the problem is you have a choice between a toenail and a Hornet.
And a Hornet, yes, it does. I think it's Hornet.
Hornet.
Yes, they've gone classy, Hornet.
where?
Until you get very close to the logo on the back, it straight up looks like two ends. But yeah, so this is Grey Cray, the color. They've still tried to have fun with the color names. Grey Cray. Yeah, so it's Cray Cray.
Like Cray Cray.
Grey Cray.
All right, hit me up. I know you've memorized all the rest of the color names.
I haven't, but matching what they were doing on the table when they were thinking of these color names, though if you get it in black, it's 8-ball.
Okay.
Yeah. There's Q-ball for the white.
Right.
Embarrassingly, I thought there was, when I was going through it, I thought there was Appley Blue Bayou.
That says apply blue.
Okay.
Yeah, apply blue Bayou paint. Yeah, I thought it was Appley Blue.
Appley Blue? What is Appley Blue, James?
It's raspberry lemonade.
Okay.
It was possible. Anyway, I think it's quite fun. The Hornet, as you said, is very attractive. And then, instead of Dodge on the front, they've got these two lines.
I like that because
Yeah, it's fun.
I associate I shouldn't say this, but I associate the word Dodge on a thing with a gentleman that is ever so slightly more abrasive in a
No borrow, no car, baby!
Ram behind me.
So this
right?
is the track pack. So I've got these 20-inch
As a
wheels.
former Ram owner, I'm allowed to say this.
As a former Ram owner, you don't get to say anything. You're
I've
Benedict
been one.
Arnold over here.
I've been one, yeah. No, I like that. It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
The size is quite nice as well. It's not as like if you look at like the CX-50, there's all the rugged stuff. This has kind of gone clean look.
Yeah, no, I do like that, and it matches the red brake cal. Also part of the track pack.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's very cool.
No, it's a pretty design. It looks straight out of Italy.
Yes. Well, I mean, it is an Italian car.
But it's got the signature like
once
Dodge
a
tail
Dodge.
lights, which looks like a phone that's being hung up.
Yeah. No, it's a good look. I like it.
Yeah, the Hornet.
The Hornet. There it
The
is.
Hornet.
GT.
And the two lines light up on the rear brake light.
That's pretty fancy.
And that's quite a tight trunk, actually.
It's not huge.
It's
but
high. It's just not
huge, but
wide.
It's pretty good. It'll get the job done, right? Anyway, should we look at the interior?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Inside the Hornet.
Yes.
Now,
very much a toenail in here.
I
used your joke.
That's not a joke, it's what they called it. Yes, this shares a lot with the Alfa Romeo. In fact, the screens, everything about this cluster, the steering wheel is identical.
Yes.
Apart from obviously we have the emblem of Dodge here.
Obviously, because Stellantis owns the whole thing, and so they're just going to share a gazillion parts.
Except where our engine stop button is, on the Alfa, that's the driving mode.
Right, and then over there.
And their stop button is where the sport is. The Alfa team.
The Alfa team.
Yeah.
Like a Ferrari, which I do like.
Yes.
This has the Alfa seats as well, same style.
Yeah, well, this is the track pack. So we've got the Alcantara seats. If you in the GT Plus, you get the nicer leather seats.
Yes, these are like, they're comfy, but they're like a touch narrow on the edges, and I can see how on like a 6-hour drive, it might get a little bit irritating.
Yeah, untested for us.
Yes,
untested.
yes. But that's speculation. Now, the rest of listen, the materials in here are not the nicest. They're not top notch.
No, but then this isn't $60,000.
No, exactly. I like the gauge cluster. I think it looks really cool. It changes when you click sport mode. That's pretty neat.
That's a huge change.
It does not change that much, I will say that.
But the black levels are good.
Yeah,
this
the
screen
infotainment has been a little bit inconsistent.
Yeah, now it's fast as hell.
It seems to be working very well now, but earlier we were trying it and it didn't respond at all.
The performance modes load quickly. I remember in the old SRT stuff, you could have a drink in between. You could pour a drink
You
and
could
have
go
a
for
drink.
lunch, yeah, in between the performance. Now, obviously, there's less things loading. There's turbo and torque.
Well, we've got
There's
consumption
boost pressure,
history,
yeah.
accessory gauges.
Okay, there's some stuff going on there.
Well, we're missing some things. This isn't the GT Plus, all right? The GT Plus has a wireless charger.
Yep.
It has ventilated seats.
Which I could do with today. There's a heat warning.
Yes.
Yes.
We do have a heated steering wheel.
I have a sweaty
But I'm wondering
bottom.
if that's Canada.
What's that?
You have a sweaty bottom?
No, I didn't say
Betty Swallocks.
So what was that with steering wheel?
We have a heated steering wheel.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
I like the steering wheel, by the way. It's really nicely shaped. The diameter's good. The leathers feel really high end.
Yeah.
It's like the centerpiece of the interior. It is missing shift paddles.
It's not exactly exciting to shift with this.
No.
You just don't. You wouldn't use it.
You just don't use
Luckily,
it.
the 9-speed stays out of your way. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's fine.
The rear seats, I mean, this has been criticized a lot for being quite tight. And Harrison, our sound engineer, is 6'5" and he doesn't fit.
Yeah.
However, me, a medium-sized man who can still buy the big stuff at Gap Kids, I fit comfortably at 5'10".
Yep, and I fit as well, and it's fine.
Yeah, they're just a bit stiff.
Yeah.
Sporty.
It's about sports SUVs.
Visibility is good. We haven't got a sunroof. The GT Plus gets a sunroof.
No, there's a ton of headroom as a result up here.
Yeah.
There's like a little extra cavity, so. No, I like this. I don't, what's the word? I don't know if I would take this over the equivalent Mazda, but then again, maybe I would.
I'd take
because
this over a CX-50, I think.
I think this takes itself less seriously.
I'd take a CX-5. I think the CX-5 just a...
I don't know if I would now that I think about it, because, I mean, yeah, that's going to probably be a more reliable vehicle than this. Now, obviously, it's brand new. We can't say. I said probably.
Italy plus Dodge
based
and
on
Fiat.
the entirety of the information we have throughout all of history of cars, it's likely that this isn't going to be as reliable as the Mazda. But I think that it takes itself less seriously. It's a little bit more of a fun car than the CX-5.
I'm curious to try the RT, even though it's not as sexy sounding. It's the one that gets the electric assistance with much more torque and a lot of horsepower.
Well, the sexiness is in the Hornet.
It is in the Hornet.
So
it is.
as
Which
long
is
as that's
okay.
there.
Fine. The goes like hell one. They're rumoring this goes like hell one,
it's a concept right now,
which
but
may or may not get the Hurricane 6-cylinder engine, which would be quite nutty. But I think one of the things that we haven't mentioned is how narrow this is. It feels like a BMW i3.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't think about it because it bugged me when I was driving, but I didn't realize it here. But my knee hits this center console on both sides, and if you actually pay attention, look in front of you, this is a small
Very narrow.
footbox,
As is the trunk.
right?
So great for little city driving.
Yes.
But yeah, if you want width and space.
If you are a wide person, perhaps.
Apparently that's you.
Yeah, well,
They just needed to cushion this.
I am filling out these seats. I will say that. Anyway, that was fun. I like a good old fashioned crossover review every once in a while. You know.
It's refreshing.
It's refreshing.
A refresher.
Shall we do a journalistic conclusion?
Sure.
Okay.
So, we think the Hornet is pretty cool. We were kind of hoping that the goofballs over at Dodge would have applied a bit more of their usual silliness to what is already a fun little crossover. Even though it isn't the RT, we'd like to have had a bit more of a fun exhaust note or even an exhaust tip, and definitely some shift paddles. But overall, a reskinned Alfa Romeo for a bit less money sounds pretty good in our book. And it looks pretty great too. Especially that little Hornet on the side.
Thomas, is there something you're not telling me?
Nope. Thanks for watching.